We're talking about the People's National Convention today. They'll be holding their National Congress to elect presidential candidates and national executives ahead of the 2020 general elections this weekend. But it's exactly 81 days to the general polls, and we want to find out how is the PNC preparing towards December 7. I'm joined in the studio with my special guest today, National Chairman for the PNC, Bernard Mona. We'll talk about the PNC, also seek his views on national issues and decisions taken by the Electoral Commission so far. Mr. Mona, you're welcome.
Let me try to. Thank you.
Right. So first of all, let me just indicate to you that you can send us your message, WhatsApp message, on the number that's displayed, that will be displayed on your television. The number is 0540109009. We'd love to hear from you. What questions do you have for the PNC? Do you think they deserve your attention at all? Let that question flow. So you're welcome once again.
Thank you, Gifty.
How are you campaigning at all? Is the party campaigning at all?
We've not elected our presidential candidate yet, but the party is campaigning particularly in constituencies where we have elected our parliamentary candidates. You can see buoyancy in the work of the various parliamentary candidates across the country.
I asked because I wanted to ask you, how is the campaign going?
We've been crisscrossing the length and breadth of the country. As I speak to you, some members of the party who are gunning for positions have already left Accra. They are in other regions. Yesterday, somehow, almost all of us were in the Eastern region because they were doing their Eastern Regional Conference to elect their delegates for the National Delegates Conference. And so we were all there. Okay. And so I'm sure that with that, individual campaigns are going on. Party campaigns have not started yet because we virtually are putting our manifesto on hold until the presidential candidate is elected. And once the presidential candidate is elected, goes through the manifesto, add one or two or subtract from the manifesto, then we can publicize the manifesto, and I'm sure it will come to add to the debate on manifestos in this country.
We'll see how that goes. But seriously, 81 days to an election and you don't have a flag bearer. Should people take the PNC seriously?
Well, I don't know, because the PNC message has been consistent. We have been promoting some basic ideas that will liberate the people of Ghana. We have been championing on many other policy issues and options, some of which have been stolen, or let me call it, have been taken by successive governments. Poor as they have implemented those things have tended to be the savior of our nation in many fronts. If you take the National Education Trust Fund, you know that it was the PNC that proposed the idea in 1998 when we met in Kumasi.
The GET Fund?
The GET Fund. And eventually, this was the time the students of Ghana were engaged in the Mobrowa struggle. And therefore, the PNC said, instead of meeting the students with bullets and killing them, they are our own children. Why do you do that? Let's find a solution to the problems that they were bringing forward. And the challenges, in our opinion, was to establish the Ghana Education Trust Fund. It is poorly implemented, but again, that has come to help to contain students' unrest in this country. If you take the issue of national health insurance, it was the PNC that mooted the idea, particularly so that Ghana was engulfed in the cash and carry system. Today, the PNC idea is being implemented poorly, but I say that it is one that has saved the people of Ghana. So many Ghanaians come to realize that the PNC is the party of ideas, the PNC is the party that, if allowed to win elections, its policies will be able to liberate them from the economic quagmire that they find themselves. So the party is not new. The fact that we are to elect somebody who will be our standard bearer to lead us into the election does not mean that many people in Ghana don't know about the PNC.
Why do you think the PNC, if after all that you said, that these ideas came from you, I mean, the people of Ghana are not dumb. They should be able to know that this idea actually was first mentioned on a PNC platform, but we had the NDC doing it, we had the NPP doing it. Why do you think the PNC is still performing extremely poorly in elections?
Probably because I say that a number of stakeholders have conspired to make the PNC not attractive. Sometimes
who are these stakeholders?
Including the media. I'm happy to be here today. But when the media, you are going around searching for people to empanel for your programs, most often the PNC and its membership come as an afterthought. Indeed, I have come to many programs of yours only when either the NDC is protesting that they don't want to appear before your shows, or the MPP is protesting for one reason or the other, then they suddenly realize and find favor that there is.
But people won't just come to you if you don't make yourself available and make yourself a formidable.
You just called me. You just sent me a message. Your producer sent me a message, and I asked what time. And I appeared before you.
Okay, so
when you don't send us an invite, I cannot just walk into Joy and then start talking.
That's the thing. You see, we live in a world.
Are you telling me that the NDC, NPP, they just walk into your studios and start talking?
Hang on, you are a political party. A political party is a serious business. If you are in serious business, what you do is market yourself and tell people, hey, I'm here. And when you say, hey, hang on, let me just make my argument.
I am surprised because when you start on a flawed premises, the conclusion will certainly not be valid.
I'm not seeking correction of my script. Hang on. What I'm doing is to give you an idea of the reason why perhaps you think we have not reached out to you. And I'm saying that if you are engaging the NPP and the NDC, they have put themselves out there. They have said something, and we go to them to talk to them about it. You said you are organizing your Congress, and we are coming to you to talk about the Congress. But until you put yourself out there for us to see what you're doing, we won't be able to reach out to you and say, let the people hear from you. So you can't put the media in the conspirators, but that's okay. Let's focus on why again you think you
are trying to exonerate the media from the team of conspirators.
I'm telling you what I think, but that's okay. I'm here to ask you the questions for the people of Ghana.
So let's go for the answers.
Let's go for the answers. And the thing is, it's been years of the existence of the PNC, but the question again was, why have you performed poorly? You said there are stakeholders who are conspiring against you.
The media
is one of them.
The media is one of them. Well, the media is one of them. There's no doubt that the media's role in magnifying any event in this country is huge. And therefore, if the media decides in the manner that I think they have conspired against the PNC to ensure that they constantly promote the idea of the MPP and NDC, and when, as Colonel Bayobo will say, and when you say that 2 + 2, and I say the answer is 4, and somebody from another angle come and say 4, then you turn around to tell me that, Bernard Mona supports these people's position. How can that be the case? So what you have tried, in effect, is that when a PNC man speaks, and speaks against something that the ruling government is for, then ab initio, you are consigned to the NDC.
We've consistently spoken to you.
Can I make the point?
And people of the
when
PNC.
Somebody speaks against something that the NDC is opposed to, then ab initio, you are consigned to speaking.
That's how you see it.
That is how it has been reported. Because I finish a program, sometimes I initiate a certain move. And just when I initiate a move, some other person is called in, and the next report is that the PNC supports this position of this political party. When you do that, it is a deliberate thing to ensure that my voice is subsumed by what you perceive as the bigger voice. Now, if you even move to Parliament,
the problem you see across the media landscape.
I'm not just taking Joy on.
It's fine if you want to take us on. I've already explained to you.
So I'm talking generally about the media.
Okay.
Now, if you go to Parliament, we have a constitution that says that we should have multi-party democracy. When you go to Parliament, it is a two-party parliament.
Because the PNC has not done well enough to be represented in Parliament.
If you take your time, you will get where I'm at the drift.
Okay.
Parliament is housed by majority and minority. So whether you are PNC, you are independent, or you are any other person and you find your way into Parliament, you must acquiesce to being a majority or a minority. In that way, you are consumed.
So you have to align.
You are consumed.
Parliament.
You understand? So even when you go to Parliament, that is the difficulty that our membership face. When they go to Parliament, you are expecting that, okay, which party constitutes the majority? So they go and sit with the majority, and consistently the PNC has sat with the majority, irrespective of the party that has been in Parliament. So if it is the MPP, we sit with the majority. If it is the NDC, we have always sat with the majority. So in that way, we are consumed.
Is that the only reason why the PNC has not been able?
I am telling you, because majority of Ghanaians then say that if you go to parliament, we try as much as possible to vote for some of you to go and represent a different version, and all we see is that you go and then you are consumed by this. So why would the people do this? And I'm saying that it's a conspiration from parliament itself, that they should find a way to ensure that persons who come independent, who belong to other political parties, are consumed. So when you go and then, as they have it in the whip system, when you go to parliament, then the whip says that you should do this. Then you are seeing that you are not conforming to the whip system. It means that you are not within this. So that is something that we have persistently insisted that, look, we need to change the standing orders of the House to reflect that we have multi-party democracy in our nation. Aside that, look, I have insisted that there may be genuine difficulties. Hey, you go and elect a presidential candidate. The people of Ghana agree to the policy content of the party, but they may not necessarily like the presidential candidate that you have brought forward. And therefore, even as they cherish the ideas that you have brought, you know, this thing is about favor. If they don't favor your presidential candidate, you will not. And that is why I have insisted. Look, from 1992, when President Liman became president, that is the highest the PNC has chalked, 6.7%. Since then, we have had a decline. And it is painful that we have had a decline. And so we are trying, and this Congress, fortunately, the old phase of our party, Edward Mahama, says that he's no more contesting. It has given new life and new lease into the party. We have 3 persons who have already filed for presidential candidates.
Let's go for the names. Who are
we
they?
have Reverend Samuel J. Debra, the man I call the Ebri man.
Who is he?
He has been a long-standing member of the party. In the 2016 elections, he was appointed by Dr. Edward Mahama as the campaign director of the elections. And so he is coming to contest. We have Samson Awigobit Asaki, that is a favorite name to the media. And then we also have the Honorable David Apasre, who is also contesting. So 3 persons are contesting. And so we are looking up to see which one the delegates will elect. And I'm confident that any one of these that is elected will be able to package the person. And probably this time, the media conspiracy will turn so that we'll also now concentrate and give some hope to the PNC. And of course,
I'm not sure about your media conspiracy, but these 3 men, who is your favorite?
I would have thought that I'm national chairman. Let me hold it there. But I would have thought, honestly, if you ask my personal view, that look, let's vacillate away from the notion that the PNC is a northern party. But that is my personal view.
Okay. So moving away from the northern party, that gives us Reverend Sam J. Debra.
Yeah, that is my personal view. But I don't know what the rest of the delegates will be thinking.
Okay. If you are a delegate, I want to hear from you on our WhatsApp platform. And I have a lot of questions. But unfortunately, we have to quickly rush to the Electoral Commission. So let's take a look at that place, what's happening there. Well, there's some prayers going on there. So these are live visuals coming to you from the headquarters of the Electoral Commission. They are about to tell us what to do, how to do it, as far as the exhibition of the voter register is concerned. We'll go there right after the prayer is said. But what do you make of what's going to happen today at the Electoral Commission? They are going to register, exhibit the voters register tomorrow.
Well, I don't think that there is anything dramatic about it. I have said that the Electoral Commission has put us through a lot of strains. Political parties, you do know. And I said this before the Electoral Commission embarked on this needless new voters register that we have, that they were going to eat into the time of political parties, because no serious political party would want to be organizing your activities when the Electoral Commission is embarking on registration. Okay. And so now they are taking us through the various, what I call, protocols before we get to the election day. So
we'll talk a bit more about that. But let's go to the commissioner, the chairperson, Jean Mensah, speaking now. So there you had it live from the Electoral Commission's headquarters, the EC boss herself speaking about what is going to happen starting tomorrow. It's a one-week program, and she is taking some questions there. But essentially, she talks about what has to be done, the recruitment process. They're starting tomorrow, and it's ending on the 25th, which is next Friday. It's starting, she says, from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., including weekends. And you need to visit the centers to be able to check. But you can also do so on your mobile phone. And apparently, some people have already done so. So you've had 30 pesos, deducted from your credits. She says those people will be you get your details back, so you don't need to do it again. You don't need to engage the service again. It costs 30 pesos to check on 1422. You can check with your ID. You can check and you get your name, your ID number, your gender, your age, polling station, the polling station code, the district and the region, all will pop up on your mobile phone as well. She says that those who registered at the district offices, the aged, people with disabilities, you need to go to the assigned centers. You don't need to go back to the district offices for that. And that 500 biometric devices will be deployed that will help you to check your fingerprints, the facial recognition and everything. 5,000, I beg your pardon, and everything. They've recruited 73,107 people for this, and they have one COVID ambassador to each polling center. There will be, by the way, she says, an exception list, and that exception list includes voters who they say have flouted regulations. We may want to get a bit more details on that one. And there will be a multiples list. If you find your name on the multiples list, it means that you registered multiple times and you cannot be allowed to vote. If you're on the exception list as well, you have flouted regulations, you cannot be allowed to vote. And yeah, she talked about the observation of the protocols, etc. They are also getting district registration review officers in collaboration with the courts to get judges who will be assigned to deal with claims, objections, etc. And when she's speaking again, we'll go back to the Electoral Commission. But Ms. Amona, you're here with me. It's good, so we can get your thoughts as well. What do you make of all that she said?
Well, it is their responsibility to be telling the people of Ghana what they should expect in the voter exhibition. There is no doubt that there is no time on the side of the Electoral Commission. So you can see that an exercise of this magnitude, they are giving just 7 days for it.
Is 7 days not enough? Well,
you can check, because this exercise, I'm here in Accra. Okay, I have many activities, and I'm sure many other persons who are employed, particularly all our members of parliament, are in Accra. They have to go back to their various polling stations, carry their family and all that. And
she said that you can do that on your phone too.
How would you know? They will give you the details that you are registered, but your name could be on the exception list. Your name could actually be on the multiple registrants list. And so the fact that you have gotten it, that you are a registered voter, does not preclude that you are a possible candidate on the exception list.
Well, maybe that's a question that our reporter on the ground can put to the EC so that we get some clarification. She didn't mention.
No, I am just telling you, because once you are registered, your name is captured.
Yes.
Okay? And so on the system, if you type the 1420, and then you get the information, it will tell you are registered. But the fact that you are registered does not necessarily mean that you are qualified to vote on that day, according to her submission, which I'll come to.
Yeah, what I was saying was that what we can do is to find out from them, if I key in my details on the mobile phone, will it give me all the details, including whether or not I am on the exception list or on the multiple list? But I get the point you're making.
Yeah, so that is one point. So this is the time people have to now convey their families to go back to various registration centers, to now go and confirm. And you see that there is no time. And I'm sure that if you were working for Joy, and then all of a sudden you tell them that you are all going to various places that you registered, you will see that your employer may not be able to grant you the opportunity to go. So it's putting a lot of strain in the way of voters. So at the end of the day, you check what is going to happen. The turnout will be very low.
Okay, I'll come back to that. Let's go to the Electoral Commission headquarters again. Still the pulse in Megiti and Opia. We're coming live from the Electoral Commission headquarters, where some very interesting revelations are being made. If you're part of the 6,080 people on the multiple registration list, you will not be allowed to vote. And the Electoral Commission says it will make details of that figure and those on the exemptions list available on their website. We'll be looking out for that. But, well, you need to check. We're starting tomorrow. You need to go and check whether you're on that list and whether or not you'll be allowed to vote. Mr. Mona, you were sharing your thoughts on what she has said so far. I want to hear your comment on the exceptions list and the multiple registration list. Those people will not be allowed to vote.
Well, I don't know where she derives her power from, because it appears that she is now the judge. If you say I'm on the multiple registration list, first question is that how did I get onto the multiple registration? Because this is the Electoral Commission, prior to the new voters register, indicated that there were multiple registrants on the voters register, the reason for which they had to discard the old one. So if today you are telling us and admitting that there is multiple registration, you, the Electoral Commission, should rather be the one we should send to court.
Why?
Because you lied, you deceived the people of Ghana that you are going to create a perfect system that will not carry these impurities. And at the end of the day, you are telling us that the major reasons for which you were embarking on a new exercise, you failed in them. So who is the candidate for court? You are the candidate. That is the first point. Now, you, by some magic, my name has been recorded twice or on the voters register. I only went to Sankana Town Hall to go and register. I didn't go anywhere. How my name is replicated on your system should be your duty, not me.
But how
in any case, this is a biometric system.
Intentionally.
This is a biometric system. And why? We told the Electoral Commission that, look, people were going to have the possibility of doing a new voters register, multiple registration, because you were not doing the registration all in one day. You were not doing it in one period. You did it in phases of 6. So
if they found out you registered twice,
the point is that you, the Electoral Commission, failed to put in the check that will ensure that people doesn't get onto the registration.
But it doesn't change the fact that those who have done this have broken the law. The Electoral Commission is actually the one that allowed them the opportunity to enter the voters register. But it doesn't change the fact that you have broken the law.
Instead of the Electoral Commission thinking about prosecuting other people, the Electoral Commission should be prosecuted.
But the people who have committed the offense...
That is your view. My view is that the Electoral Commission is rather the one that abetted in the commissioning of this crime. And therefore, the Electoral Commission should be prosecuted. They should be the candidates for court. That is one. Number two, so if you say my name is on the multiple register and I come to prove to you that, look, I only did the registration once. I have not gone anywhere to go and do another registration. So you have to take my name from them.
But that requires an investigation.
But you have to take my name because I can prove to you that I only registered at one place. And you are telling me that I have done multiple registration. And I have seen at some registration centers. Why? I went around most of the registration centers. Take note. You said people should not come with their old voter ID cards. They came to the voters registration center with their old ID cards. You know why?
You saw them?
I saw them. And I can give you some of my colleague parliamentary aspirants who saw people come to the registration center with old ID cards. And let me explain what happened. They came with their ID cards. So if I tell you that my name is Sankpa Malema Atta, can you spell that?
So they came with the old ones to show...
when they come, my name is Sankpa Malema Atta. Then you are there scratching your head. You can't. So what they do is that they prove that this is the name that has been recorded on their voter's ID card. So you take it, you copy their age and copy everything. After that, you then call somebody to come and say that the person is guaranteeing for the person.
I don't understand. How is that a problem? If you came with your old voters register just because you want to, because of the cards are different anyway. I've registered and the cards are different.
I'm saying that.
So if I went to
Did you hear my explanation?
That's what I'm trying to understand.
I'm saying that I came so that you'll be able to even identify my name and spell my name right.
With the old card?
Yes, with my old card. So you used it as a form of identification and sourced almost every information from my old card. After that, you have rejected the card and then you call somebody to come and guarantee for me. That is what you did. So people came into the registration center. They did that. Now they have gone. You are calling them that they have done multiple registration. They say they have not done multiple registration. And so when they come there, you have to, after you have gone through with your so-called magistrates, and it is clear that they did not commit the crime, then you have to take their name. So it is not necessarily the case that once my name is on the multiple registrants list, I cannot vote. It means that I have to come for you to clear me. You understand? When you clear me, you have to take my name off. That is one. The other point that they made is that, what is it? There is an exception list. What is that exception list supposed to be?
What does it mean to you? It means that those people have, she says, those voters who have flouted regulations, they are on the exception list.
Regulations, which one?
She didn't clarify,
okay.
but she indicated that they're breaking some law.
My son is 14 years, okay? He happens to be on the voters register. Somebody go and stand somewhere and say my son is not 14 years. I have said this, and let me repeat it. I'll just look for a lazy chair, relax, cross my leg, and get a calabash of pito and start drinking. You can go down the sea and come back. I'll tell you that I don't have birth certificate. You can go to the Ombora.
You need some kind of identification.
I have given birth to my son, and I'm saying that I have said that my son is 18 years.
But you need identification. You can't just say with word of mouth.
But why? I can grant for my son. I'm no more permitted.
You and another person.
Yes. So when we grant that this person is of age and the person can register,
and there's nothing you can do.
And then you come and tell me that I should prove that my son is 18. You have made the allegation. Come and prove.
I see.
So you see me with my calabash of pito, relaxing and sipping slowly.
Okay. So in essence,
so this is a very tedious process.
Your wrap-up comment.
Yeah, this is a very tedious.
Commission.
Now, finally, on this one, the Electoral Commission says 5,000 BVDs for 33,367 registration centers. So the BVDs are short. Not every registration center will get a BVD. So many people will not be able to verify and to check the system as it's supposed to be. Something is wrong. Why is the Electoral Commission not deploying the full complement of the BVDs? What is the reason?
I don't know the answer.
So all the 33,367 registration centers must have BVDs. Why select some
for the exhibition?
For the exhibition. Because you want to test the efficacy and the robustness of even your BVDs. So this is the time you want to deploy them. Because after this, you will not get the chance again until registration, voting.
So give me your wrap-up comment, your final comment.
I am saying that the timing is too short. The Electoral Commission has pushed us all into these difficulties. We will certainly go through it, as I have said. Those who supported the Electoral Commission in simply to engage in this reckless exercise for all of us, they have seen where we are getting to. But of course, we are all into this together. So we will see how it goes. And right now, I have to realign my activities again, because you do know that in the course of the week, we have to be doing our National Delegates Congress. Yes. Exhibition is taking place. So where do you go? And these are some of the challenges that I put forward. That political parties' timetable, their resources and other things were going to be eaten into by the Electoral Commission. And here we are confronted with reality.
Okay. So it's disrupting the political party's timetable for you. 100,000 cities for presidential candidates. Is the PNC ready for that? And 10,000 for parliamentary candidates. The PNC ready for that?
The Electoral Commission is engaged in a very insensitive, and I call them that, look, they are engaged in electoral hooliganism. This is what you can call electoral violence on the people who are participating in the elections.
How is this violence?
Why? So the fact that I don't have money, does that mean that I am not intelligent? I don't have the...
But that's not violence, is it?
That is hooliganism.
How is that hooliganism?
Why? Which law says that the Electoral Commission must put monitoring impediments on the way of persons who are qualified?
If it's an impediment on your part, it's not the Electoral Commission's fault.
Who posts the filing fee?
They posted, but if the
Electoral Commission put the file, you are behaving like Jean Mensa, who says that
your inability to raise the money.
You are behaving like Jean Mensa, who just said right now that, look, there is a law and that it is not there. The law is a CI. The CI is a creation of the Electoral Commission. 100,000
cities. Does the PNC have the money to pay? And
I'm sure you will contribute. Because obviously we'll go out there.
I'm asking a very serious question. That's
I'm saying that people first and foremost, it is put on a presidential candidate, 100,000. the political party must raise the resources to be able to support the presidential candidate. Even if they put $1 billion and we want to contest the election, it is our duty to go out there to go and look for the resources. But I keep asking this question. Why is the Electoral Commission charging filing fees? If you come to our political parties, we charge filing fees because part of the filing fees is used to organize the processes leading to the election of our officers. The
Electoral Commission has always charged filing fees.
But I have said time without number, and go and review your tapes. Over the years, I've said that it is reckless, it's needless, it's not acceptable that you charge a fee for which you don't use, because government of Ghana has provided the Electoral Commission with all the resources they need to embark on the 2020 elections, including the fact that they even have surplus. Today, they are telling us that they are employing over 33,367 what they call ambassadors, just to go and stand there and be telling us that when you come, don't go to this distance.
You don't think that's necessary?
It is not necessary. Why? All of us know the COVID protocols.
But not all of us are observing the COVID
All of us know COVID protocols. And therefore, it is the duty to expand on advertisement. Probably JoyNews could get some part of the advertisement so that people will get to know what we need to do at registration centers. Now you are going to take people and go and stand there. The Electoral Commission has got more than it needs to be able to embark on this exercise.
So
why would you charge people money and you take the money and go and keep down and say that when I'm able to obtain a certain percentage, then I come back for my money? If I had that money, it will enable me reach out to many more people so that they can vote for me.
Okay, I'll come back to our conversation which we started earlier about the PNC, but we need to take a very quick break here. I'm here with Bernard Mona, the General Secretary for the PNC. We're talking about...
I'm not General Secretary.
The National Chairman, I beg your pardon. The National Chairman for the PNC. Sorry, it's overload of information in my head. And we're having a conversation about why it's 81 days to election and they do not have a flag bearer as yet. But then we had to go to the Electoral Commission and there are matters arising. He's commenting on those. Let's take a very quick break. When we return, why should we even take the PNC seriously at all? He will answer that. Do stay with us.
Yeah.
You're welcome back. This is still The Pulse with me. We have just a few minutes to wrap it up, but let's talk about the PNC's Congress. Mr. Mona, as part of why Ghanaians should take the party seriously, walk us through the program. You're having it this weekend, or has it changed again?
It's changed to the 26th. You do recall that when we had the National Executive Committee meeting, the leader of the party came with a different date altogether, different filing fees, aside that of the NEC. The Council of Elders, in their attempt to, as they called it, to mediate, also sat in their corner and also issued their own statement. I had to draw their attention that we are working with party structures, and once NEC has taken a decision, it was not for any one of us, because I'm a member of the NEC, the leader is a member of the NEC, and so we cannot have any power above the NEC. And so therefore, the Council of Elders, which is a creation of NEC, could not also have taken that decision. I mean, you can advise the NEC, but you can't do that.
So you're doing it on 26th, which is next weekend.
Next weekend.
And no longer this weekend.
No longer this weekend.
Next weekend.
But we all met and we looked at the program. As we speak, not all the regions have concluded their regional conferences. So it was just fair that we should look at a future date. And that is how come that has been shifted to the 26th. To allow the various regions or regions that are standing in their regional conferences to be able to conclude on that. So hopefully between now and the Monday, all the regions would have done their regional conferences, and then we can push ahead. Together.
Until 26th, give us the venue. Where is it happening at, and what is going to happen on that day?
We have over 4,000 delegates. We have about 4,300 delegates to participate at the National Delegates Congress. COVID protocols and the President directives will not permit us to congregate in that large numbers. So what we have decided is that we will convene at the various regional centers. So every region will identify a place. The Electoral Commission will be informed. The police will also be informed. Of course, the media will necessarily be at the various regional centers so as to monitor the votes. The votes is going to be in two parts. Our constitution allows us to do the national executive elections and also do the national flag bearer contest. And so what we have decided to do is that we will do the national executive elections from 8 a.m. to 12 in the noon. The results will now be being collated, and then the next phase 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., they will do the flag bearer elections.
Okay.
So basically, that is what is going to take place. And then there will be a collation center by the Electoral Commission in Accra, and that will be at the headquarters. Okay. Those national officers who will be voting in Accra, in fact, national officers are supposed to vote with the Greater Accra. But where it is not possible for you to vote in Accra, you have to inform the party and then the Congress committee ahead of time so that they can put your name and your details in the region where you are to be present on the day of voting so that you can vote, because some of the aspirants want to be in their home region so that they can continue to, they can vote and also identify with their people. So basically that is what is going to happen. And so there will be some few constitutional issues that will be tabled. There will be, this will be read by the various regional chairmen or their secretaries in the various, before the voting starts. So it's just going to be issues of constitutional, and then a message from the national chairman, the general secretary of the party, and the leader. Once those messages are read, then I'm sure that the process will start. So it will not take long. We just go straight into voting after these constitutional formalities have taken place.
Very well. I have less than, I think, about 3 or 4 minutes to wrap up, but I want to bring our viewers in. Most of you have been sending so many questions. I can't take all of them, but I'm going to go back to those who sent their questions earlier, so don't be mad if you don't get your question read. In the meantime, Nesta, you are watching us from Goriyiri. Right? Goriyiri. You sent it, your assembly member there. Thank you very much for sending in your message. I wanted to acknowledge that. But this messenger is asking what plans you have for the unemployed nurses in the country. And please tell the president to pay the rotation nurses. We have worked for almost 7 months without a penny. Mr. Mona, I'll come to you. I just want to add that question, or that the plans for the unemployed nurses, to a question about what plans the PNC has for teachers' arrears, because the current government, she says, have failed us. I want you to put this together in what the highlights of your manifesto, the PNC's manifesto, is or would look like. Well,
first and foremost, there is no need whatsoever to hold people who have worked salaries or income hostage and decide to pay them in piecemeal. I have come and I have relatives who are teachers, and these persons were employed. They worked for more than a year, and what government has decided to do is to pay them only 3 months. And when they pay them the 3 months, they tell them that you have been fully settled. What about the 9 months? That continue to remain as arrears. And you do know that if you come from Sankana and you are posted to Accra, you have to come and look for accommodation. In most instances, you have to traverse from one end to the other. I need to jump in there. Unfortunately, I've run out of time, so I need you to give us a highlight, put it together. What is the PNC presenting to We are Ghanaian presenting people? A manifesto that will ensure that the people of Ghana come out of the current economic misery that we find ourselves in. The farmers of our society will get the full benefit of the PNC manifesto. The teachers in our nation will know that when the PNC come into office, their incomes will not be in arrears. We have determined, and this is what I say all the time, that we cannot have Bola and also be having energy crisis. So we'll have what we call Bola energy, where we can gather our rubbish and turn them into something useful. Other political parties have failed to implement the Bola energy policy, and we want to do that. We can also assure you that instead of allowing the private sector to be the controller of the renewable energy sources, government of the PNC will ensure that we have sufficient investment in the renewable energy sector so that many Ghanaians will continue to profit from it. Above all, what I can tell you, that there are many things that the PNC will ensure that they are brought into this country duty-free. Agricultural implements cannot come into this country. That sounds like the NDC's manifesto, isn't it? Well, I don't know. I have not read the NDC manifesto. It sounds like it. But I'm telling you that that is part of the challenge that I have. I'm bringing you PNC ideas. We are talking about NDC. Because if there are similarities, I'm saying that this is the PNC. So it is important to say that this is the PNC manifesto. In any case, if you have been following the PNC over the period, you will know that we only add modern things to the manifesto. But in terms of the real meaning, it up for me. The PNC manifesto has been I'm being chased out of the studio. So I can assure you that the people of Ghana will again have the best of policy options that will be able to salvage our nation from there's this question that keeps coming up.
They say instead of Mr. Mona concentrating on his party, he's busily campaigning for the NDC. And a lot of people have been sending messages like he's an NDC man. How do you respond to people like that? I have said
time without number. I founded the students' wing of the PNC when I was at the University of Cape Coast. I became national youth organizer. I've contested 3 times as a parliamentary candidate. I've been general secretary, I've been national chairman. If I wanted to join any political party in this nation, I think that I have the acumen to have joined that political party. I cannot, at any day, decide for somebody what you think. The PNC is an uncompromised political party. We are a socialist political party. If I speak socialism and NDC speaks socialism, we may have convergence. I will not run away from the fact that we speak almost the same language. So if the MPP are speaking capitalist and I don't speak capitalist, is that my cup of tea? Okay.
So you're not NDC, you're not campaigning for the NDC?
No, I sat here throughout and have campaigned. I've told you that any of the 3 presidential candidates that win should be the choice for the people of Ghana.
Very well. Very well. So he's indicated already that Mr. Mahama is no longer contesting, on the ticket of the PNC. I wanted to find out where the ambassador at large, where is he?
He has his workplace at the Supreme Medical Center, and I don't know whether he has an office at the presidency. But I can give you his phone number so you can check.
Very well. Bernard Mona is national chairman for the PNC. We've been talking the PNC. They are looking to hold their Congress next week. And, they have some 3 names up. Reverend Sam Ejay Deborah, Samson Awingobit, and David Apasre. Okay, but he's indicated that he thinks the PNC can move away from the perception that it's a northern party, which puts him at Reverend Sam Ejay Deborah. But he says he's national chairman, he cannot take sides. There's more news at myjoyonline.com. You can log on, take a look at our top stories, and do share with your friends. My name is Gifty Andopia. It's always a pleasure having you. We'll do this again tomorrow.